Today I want to show you guys my salary routine that I do every time after I get paid. I've been using this salary routine ever since I got my first side hustle and started making money, and it's this salary routine that I use which allowed me to save and invest over 100,000 ringgit by the time I'm 24 years old. I'm not saying this to brag or show off, but I just want to show you guys how simple this method is and how literally anyone can follow and up their personal finance game. So whether if you're earning 3,000 ringgit a month or 5,000 ringgit a month or even 10,000 ringgit a month, this method works with anyone with any income level. In fact, the earlier you start, the better you're going to be at managing your money as your income starts to grow. But before we begin, I just want to say that this salary routine is based on individuals. I cannot for sure say that all of our expenditures are going to be the same. We are different people and we all come from different financial situations and different backgrounds, and we all make different decisions in life. So you cannot say, hey, how come you have a car loan and I don't? It's because we are all different people and we all make different decisions in life. So just make sure to adjust this salary routine according to your own financial situations, your own expenditures, and also your own income level. Alright? Now, first things first, before doing your salary routine, we first got to talk about the salary itself lah. In Malaysia, the median salary is about 2,844 ringgit, which is about right lah, because when I first started working, my salary was around 3,000 ringgit. So in this video, we are going to use 3,000 ringgit as our example. And 3,000 ringgit cash looks something like this. If you haven't seen 3,000 ringgit cash, it's about this thick and it feels something like this. Although it looks like a lot of money, it's sadly money that we cannot go out and spend just yet, because this is not our net salary. To get our net salary, we must first deduct these three things, which is our EPF, SOCSO, and also our EIS. This adds up to a total of 352 ringgit. And after deducting this amount from your salary, you're just going to be left with a net salary of 2,648 ringgit. So again, even though this still looks like a lot of money still, this is still money that we cannot just go out and spend for fun just yet, because this is still not our disposable income. To get our disposable income, we must first deduct these two things, which is our living expenses and also our liabilities. These two things is what we call as our monthly commitments. The first monthly commitment is our living expenses. Living expenses to me is an expense every month which you need to pay for in order to survive as a human being. And it's something that usually doesn't have any balance once you paid for it. These are things like your rent, groceries, utilities, and even your medical card. Usually once you paid for these things, that's it. You won't have any balance payment on them anymore. Personally, I have about 6 living expenses, starting with rent, which is about 400 ringgit a month for me. I currently still live with my parents and I pay them back in a form of rent for, just using their space. Next are my groceries. I budget around 250 ringgit a month for groceries. This includes my dry and wet kitchen stuff to prepare all my meals. Then I also got myself a medical card, which I pay about 150 ringgit a month. I think having a medical card is really important. You don't know when you actually need it until you actually need it. So I would always recommend those of you who don't have a medical card to go out and get one. Next are my utilities, which is about 180 ringgit a month. This includes my phone bill, my internet, and all my other utility bills. Like I said, I live with my parents, so it's not that much for my part. After that, we got transportation, and that's about 150 ringgit a month for me. This includes my petrol, toll, and even parking sometimes. I drive a second-hand Myvi, which is fully paid for, and the maintenance and petrol consumption on it, it's so damn efficient lah. And I also don't go out as much because most of my work is done from home. Finally, for my eating out, I budget myself around 200 ringgit a month. I know this is kind of little, but because I have groceries and I live with my parents, I generally don't go out to eat as much. So adding all of my living expenses, that gives a total of 1,330 ringgit, which is about 50% of my total income, which I think is pretty okay lah. Now let's take a look at my liabilities. Liabilities to me is something which has an outstanding balance which you could pay for over time. These are things like your house mortgage, your car loan, your outstanding credit card payments, your PTPTN loan, and even sometimes your personal loan. all of these things are considered to be your liabilities. Thankfully for me, I currently don't have any outstanding loans. Like I mentioned earlier, even the car that I'm driving right now is a second-hand Myvi, which is completely paid for, and because of that, I don't have any car loans. I do, however, have a monthly credit card installment to pay, and that's because last month I completely destroyed my old iPhone and I desperately needed to get a new phone. So I bought the new iPhone 16 Pro Max and I put that on my credit card via a 24 months installment plan. So my only liability right now, I would say, is my credit card installment slash my iPhone repayment, which is about 250 ringgit a month. So when I deduct all of my living expenses and also my monthly liabilities from my net salary, that leaves me with only 1,068 ringgit. And this would be your disposable income, or in this case, my disposable income. So even though you just got paid 3,000 ringgit from your monthly salary, you realize that you can't spend the entire 3,000 ringgit on whatever you want, because most of it will be going towards your monthly commitment. So what you do with your disposable income, which is around this much, is really, really important. Alright, so the first thing that I would do with my disposable income is to prepare an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is really important because life is unpredictable sometimes. And when I say unpredictable, I mean sometimes you run into emergencies. And these are things like medical emergencies, car repairs, or sometimes even losing your job. Having an emergency fund means you're financially prepared for the situations in case it happens without having to rely on credit cards and even more loans, which can even lead you into more debts. So how much money should you actually keep in your emergency fund? Because keeping too much money in your emergency fund can actually be a bad thing too. I would personally recommend you to keep at least 6 months of your total monthly commitments as your emergency fund. For example, in my case, my monthly commitments is around 1,560 ringgit. So 6 months of that would be 9,480 ringgit. And that should be your total emergency fund allocation. So if you haven't built your emergency fund, make sure to use most of your disposable income, if not all of your disposable income, to build your emergency fund first. Only then you can do more things with your disposable income, like investing and making those big purchases. I would then allocate about 60% of my disposable income towards investments, and that is about 640 ringgit for me. So every month, I will set aside 640 ringgit from my salary just for investing. In terms of investments, most of the time, this money would be going towards buying stocks and shares. There are so many stocks that you can actually choose to invest in. Just make sure to do your own research before investing in any one of them. If you're someone who doesn't know what stocks to invest in, or if you're just getting started with investing, I would recommend you guys to take a look at investing in broad market index funds through ETFs, or exchange traded funds. Index funds are basically a basket of stocks put together into one package. For example, the S&P 500 index, which tracks the 500 largest companies in the US, and you can own them by just buying the index fund. If you look at the S&P 500 index as a whole, since the inception of the stock market, the market has been on an uptrend and has an average annual return of 10.9%. And by investing into the S&P 500 index fund, you are basically betting on the long-term success and growth of the US stock economy as a whole. My favorite ETF to buy is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, ticker symbol VOO. I like VOO because it has a super low expense ratio, as well as you get to participate in the overall growth of the S&P 500 index fund. So every month, 640 ringgit for my salary will be used to buy VOO. If you want to participate in the overall growth of the stock market, you got to be disciplined with your investments. You have to invest regularly every time. So whether the market is up or the market is down, you still continue to buy the overall market. So this strategy is what is known as the dollar cost averaging strategy. If you want to buy ETFs like VOO or any individual stocks, whether it's the US market or Malaysia market, you can check out Moomoo. I currently use Moomoo for all of my investments, and if you haven't signed up to Moomoo already, make sure to sign up using my promo link. And if you use my promo link to sign up, you guys will get 150 ringgit if you deposit a minimum of 1,000 ringgit into your Moomoo account. And if you deposit more than 10,000 ringgit, I think you guys will get an Apple share as well. So make sure to use my promo link to sign up. I'll leave it in the description down below so you can sign up. And yeah, you'll also be supporting this channel if you use my link. So yeah, appreciate you guys and thank you. Alright, the next allocation of my disposable income is basically setting 30% aside for high yield savings account. This is money that I'm going to be saving to buy a house or maybe a car or maybe cash for just buying stocks in the future. I want to put this money in a place that is fairly accessible to me and also liquid. The key word here is liquid. I want to make sure that whenever I need this money and I need to withdraw it, I can easily access to this money within just a few days. The money that you have in your bank is the best example for this. Whenever you need the money, you can just go and withdraw it from your bank account. The only problem with leaving your money in your bank account is that you don't earn much interest from it. Like you only earn 0.05 to 0.6% in interest every single year. Like what is that, right? It's so little. Even our inflation or how much things go up in price every single year is about 3%. Instead, put your money in a money market fund. A money market fund is basically a low risk fund which you can put your money in and earn interest on a daily basis without any lockup periods. Meaning you can withdraw these funds at any time that you want while locking up those interest profits that you have made so far. My favorite money market funds are the ones on Moomoo, which gives you about 3 to 4.3% in interest every year. You can even choose some money market funds that are even Sharia compliant if that's part of your criteria. To access this money market fund, just go on into the Moomoo app and go under the Cash Plus feature, and here you will be able to see all the money market funds that are available for you. So 30% of my disposable income, which is about 320 ringgit, will be parked under a money market fund in Moomoo. And I can earn about 3 to 4% in interest every single year just by parking my money there. And whenever I need this money, I can withdraw it anytime I want while keeping those interest profits. Finally, after setting money aside for your investments and also your savings, we are finally just left with 10% of our total disposable income. And that is about this much, 106 ringgit. I know it's not a lot, but I promise you one day as your income starts to grow, so does your disposable income, and 10% of your disposable income would be a lot more than this. 10% of my disposable income is literally money that I can do anything with it. It's basically my have fun money, and it's basically money that I can go out and spend on anything and not feel guilty about it. So these are things like maybe going for a movie, going to get those expensive Starbucks once in a while, or maybe even getting this dope haircut. I don't know, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy. And yeah, as long as it gives you any form of satisfaction after a whole month of hard work. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do me a favor and help me smash the like button, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also leave a comment down below how you guys manage your salary every single month. I would love to hear about it. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep up the gains, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Ciao, peace.